What's up, mariners? This is Abhilash Thakur and welcome to Sailor's Guide. Alright guys, so today we are going to start with the rule number 3, that is general definitions, and we have 13 parts in this, and we will start with the A part. This rule is very important as per the understanding of the rules. This rule plays a very important role because it gives all the definition, all the terms which has been used in the ROR. So you need to get thorough with it so that you can understand what is happening in the rules. Okay, so let's start with the basics, and which starts with the part A. They have given the definition of the word vessel. Now what is vessel? Well, you can call anything a vessel, but they have defined as per the ROR what a vessel should be. Okay, so let's read out. The word vessel includes every description of watercraft, including non-displacement craft, WIG craft, and seaplanes, used or capable of being used as a means of transportation on water. So basically what they are saying is that anything which can be used as a means of transportation can be used or capable of being used, which also includes a non-displacement craft. Now what is non-displacement craft? It means they have no displacement. Now the displacement means, as the Archimedes principle explains, if the body is submerged into the water, they displace some water. The underwater volume of that body, that much volume get displaced by that body when it goes into the liquid. Okay, as you have read it in, I think, +1 or +2 classes, that is what Archimedes principle is. And a vessel who has no displacement means they are almost like on the top of the water, they are not submerged into the water. That is what we call as non-displacement, because their displacement is negligible. They do not displace any water because they have not submerged into the water. It's a little bit submerged, it's almost zero. Now we have seaplanes also. Seaplanes, you know already, as per the name suggests, seaplanes are the planes which can be landed on the water. You must have seen in the videos or movies. Those planes can take off from the water. Okay, when those planes come onto the water, they have to play a role into the they have to be considered as a vessel because it is a means of transportation on water. And there is a WIG craft, that is wing and ground. Okay, for non-displacement craft you can see this picture, and for WIG craft you can see this picture. You can get an idea what it is. Okay, that's what A part says. It gives the definition of the vessel. Now we will jump on to the B part. Okay, that is power driven vessel, and the C part sailing vessel. Alright guys, so I have written B and C part over here. So B part is about the power driven vessel. So the term power driven vessel means any vessel any vessel propelled by machinery. Okay, it's very simple, as they say that a propeller of the vessel should be propelled by machinery. So most of the vessels in today's world are these vessels which are power driven. Okay, let's go to the next part, that is about the sailing vessel. They say sailing vessel means any vessel under sail. Any vessel under sail. Now what is sail? So sail, you can see that, you know, a big piece of cloth on a boat. Okay, you can see in this picture, that is what sail means. Okay, and provided that propelling machinery, if fitted, is not being used. Now what it says, that today's world the boats are already fitted with the machineries, and they also have a sail. Okay, so what they saying, that even if the propelling machinery has been fitted in that boat or any vessel, it should be considered as a sailing vessel only when it is not being used. Okay, if the propeller machinery is not being used, then only we will consider a vessel as a sailing vessel which is under the sail. Okay, only they are maneuvering with the help of the sail. Okay, not with the help of the propelling machinery. All right, that sums up B and C part. Let's go to D and E. All right, guys. So we have a D part over here, which explains about the vessel engaged in fishing. Okay, so what is vessel engaged in fishing? They have said here that any vessel. They have not described power driven or sailing vessel. It could be anything. It could be anything. Any vessel, which is important part here. Fishing with nets, lines, trawls or other fishing apparatus. Okay, they have given the apparatus of the fishing vessel which are used by the fishing vessel, which restrict maneuverability but does not include a vessel fishing with trawling lines or other fishing apparatus which do not restrict maneuverability. In simple words, if any vessel's maneuverability is restricted because of this fishing apparatus with nets, lines, trawls or fishing apparatus, then it will be considered as a fishing vessel. But it does not include a fishing with trawling lines. Now trawling lines does not restrict the does not restrict the maneuverability of the vessel. So it means if the maneuverability is not being restricted, then it will not be considered as a fishing vessel. Okay. So other thing is here, they have said the fishing apparatus which do not restrict the maneuverability. Any of the fishing apparatus which is not restricting the maneuverability of a vessel and that is being used for fishing, then it will not be considered as a fishing vessel. It will a fishing vessel, or we can say vessel engaged in fishing. It will only be considered as vessel engaged in fishing when they are using the apparatus which is restricting the maneuverability. Okay, very simple. It means when a fishing vessel is going for the fishing grounds, it's on its way and they are not using any of the apparatus, then it will not be considered as a fishing vessel. Only when they are start using this fishing apparatus on their fishing grounds, then it will be considered as a fishing vessel. This is very important to understand, and it could be any vessel, not the vessel it should have a power driven or sailing vessel. No, it can be anything. Okay, so let's jump on to the E part. This is all about the fishing vessel engaged in fishing. We will go for the seaplanes, that is the next one. Alright guys, so I have written a E part which is about the seaplane. Very simple. Any aircraft which is designed to maneuver on water, that is considered as seaplane. Okay, any aircraft. Very simple. Okay, nothing to explain. Now we will jump on to the F part, which is very, very important. Okay, this is about the NUC vessel. NUC is a short form for not under command. Vessel not under command. As the name suggests, that you are not able to command the vessel. Okay, any vessel means a vessel which through some exceptional circumstances is unable to maneuver. Because of some circumstances, they are unable to maneuver as per the ROR collision regulations. They are not able to maneuver. Let's say it's a head-on situation, they have to go on the starboard side. Yeah, they have a sufficient sea room. Both of the vessels has to go to the starboard side and keep clear of each other. But the thing is, one of them is not under command. They cannot control the vessel, they cannot go to the starboard side because of some special circumstances. Now, what is special circumstances? It includes like steering failure. Your steering is not under your control, something has happened. Your engines, yeah, that is the second thing. Or power failure, blackout, we say. The power failure is there is something wrong with the alternative engines, that is our generators, something is wrong with it and your power is gone. Your vessel, you are not able to maneuver the vessel. Okay, so these are some kind of a special exceptional circumstances, not special, exceptional. Okay, so that is why they are not able to maneuver as required by these rules and is therefore unable to keep out of the way of another vessel. As per the ROR, they need to keep out of the way of another vessel, but they are not able to do it because of some exceptional circumstances. That is considered as vessel not under command. All right, special circumstances, I will repeat again. Let's say engine failure, steering failure, or power failure. These are the three main causes. Because of those things, you are not on command. We also call it as NUC vessel for short form. Okay, very important. Please remember this definition. All right, let's jump on to the next part. Okay guys, so the G part is all about the vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver. We call it as a ram vessel, also restricted in her ability to maneuver. All right, okay, a ram vessel means a vessel which from the nature of her work is restricted in her ability to maneuver because of her nature of her work, because what they do, that is why their ability is restricted for maneuverability. We will cover up what all nature of work are considered as a restricted in ability to maneuver, because this is just one part of the G part. Another part, they have explained all the jobs which is considered as a vessel who have a restricted, who has a nature of her work restricted in her ability to maneuver. The vessels will be mentioned there. What all vessel we will consider as a ram vessel, it will come into the next part. Okay, as required by these rules, and is therefore unable to keep out of the way of another vessel. Simple means because of the nature of their work, they cannot get out of the way of another vessel. As per the rule, they should have get cleared of it, but because of the nature of their work, they cannot. Okay, they are restricted. Their maneuverability is restricted. Now we will discuss what all jobs consider as a ram vessel. Okay, we will erase it and write it down. I have given 6 vessels which can be considered as a ram vessel, but it does not limit it to those. They have written it very clearly. The term restricted visibility, restricted in her ability to maneuver, my mistake, shall include but not be limited to. It should include these 6 vessels, but it should not be limited to only these 6. It could be other also. All right. So in the first part, they have talked about the vessel engaged in laying, servicing, or picking up a navigation mark, submarine cable, or pipelines. You know, underwaters, they put the electric cables or submarine cables or oil cables, you know, so that they can transfer the electricity or oil. These kind of things they put underwater so that it can reach to another shore. All right, and also navigation mark. Navigation marks, you can say buoys, different buoys. Okay, so those vessels who are engaged in the work which is related to the putting on the navigation mark or servicing or picking up of the navigation mark, submarine cable, or the pipelines, these vessels considered as a ram vessel. So their work, because of the nature of their work, they are not able to maneuver and they are not able to get out of the way of another vessel. Okay, the second vessel they have told about a vessel engaged in dredging, which I explained you earlier. A vessel who are dredging or surveying or underwater operation, whatever it is going on, they are doing some work. Because of that, they cannot move out of the way. Another is a vessel engaged in replenishment or transferring person, provision, or cargo while underway. So they have talked about any vessel who are doing some replenishment, they're doing some work of replenishment, or transferring persons. They're transferring person from one vessel to another vessel. Because of that, they cannot do. Or cargo. Provision means your stores, eating stuff. Yeah, that is considered as provision. Cargo means your cargo can be transferred by the small barges to the bigger ship which is at anchor. Okay, so there those vessels which are doing these jobs, which are transferring provision, cargo, or the person, or they are engaged in some replenishment work, that is considered as a ram vessel. So these are the first three parts. I will write down another 3 parts, and that will include all the 6 vessels they have considered as a ram vessel. Okay guys, so I have written next 3 vessels of which is considered as a ram vessel. So first we will go with the vessel engaged in the launching or recovery of the aircraft. So any vessel which is engaged in the launching or recovery of the aircraft, they, you know, for the landing or for the launching, they need to keep it on the steady course. Those vessels need to keep it on the steady course, so that is why they are not able to deviate the courses. That is why they are ram vessels. Okay, because of the nature of their work, they need to keep their course on a straight line. Next is a vessel engaged in mine clearance operation. Now, what is mine clearance? Mine, you must have known that the enemy used to put into the water. If any of you guys have seen the Ghazi attack, they put the mines for the, you know, submarines. As they get close to the those mines which have been put it there, they get blasted. Okay, so any enemies who have put it the mine clearance of mines in the water, so they need to there are vessels who are on the top and they try to find out if there are any mines in the water. So they are doing some mine clearance operation. It is very critical operation. They need to maintain the position and maintains the position at some point, and that is why they are restricted in the ability to maneuver. Okay, now the next part is the vessel engaged in towing operations. Any vessel who are engaged in the towing operations, which I showed you in the previous part, that any vessel which is engaged in towing operations such are restricted, severely restricted the towing vessel and her tow in her ability to maneuver. A towing vessel, you can see here, they have, this is a tow and this is a big vessel. I will just make a huge vessel here. There, you know, this is a tow and this is towing, or you can say tug. This combination we call it tug and tow. Okay, now the tug vessel is pulling. Because of this part, they are not able to, you know, deviate from the course, and also the tow. So this whole thing is restricted in our ability to maneuver because of their nature of the work. Okay, so that is what concludes all the 6 parts of ram vessels. I think that is very much clear. We will jump on to the next part now. Okay guys, so I have written the H part now, which is about the vessel constrained by her draft. Draft might have written as like this in your books, which is pronounced as the draft only, the draft of the vessel. Okay, so vessel constrained by her draft means a power driven vessel. That is the first condition. It should be power driven. Because of her draft in relation to the available depth and width of the available water is severely restricted in her ability to deviate from the course she is following. So basically what they are saying, that if any vessel whose draft is such that they cannot deviate from the course. Why? Because the channel depth, the navigable water depth and width is not sufficient there. Let's say if there is a channel and your vessel is there and you have a deep draft, you're about 15 meters down, you are 15 meters below the water, that is your draft, and the depth of the channel is not that much and the width is also less. So you can already imagine that you cannot deviate from the course because you don't have much space to go. But if there is some another vessel, some small boat, they can deviate because their draft is less, they have more space for themselves. It is always in relation to the draft, which is in relation to the depth and width of the channel. Let's say a width is quite a large and you have very less UKC. Under clearance is very less, but you have a sufficient width of a channel. Then you are not will be considered as a vessel constrained by her draft, because you can deviate from the course because you have sufficient width. And in some cases you have, you know, less width but the less draft, but the width is not that much, then you can also be considered as a constrained by her draft because the width is less. So these two terms you need to remember. The depth and width of the navigable water is severely restricted in our ability to deviate from the course because of the depth and width. These two terms need to be remembered. Alright, so that is what the constraint by her draft means. Let's jump on to the next two parts. Okay guys, so I have written I and J part here, which are very small. So let's go with the first I part, that is, it is about the underway. When we will use the term underway? It will be used when a vessel is not at anchor or made fast to the shore or aground. These three things we will not consider for a vessel which is underway. Now let's want to jump onto the J part, the word length and breadth. Now if we say the length of the vessel is 300 meters, now what does that mean? What is the length? The length is the overall length and the breadth is the greatest breadth. As you know that ship is not a box vessel, they are like this. Yeah, they are kind of a triangular shape to it. So the length will be the overall, the maximum length. From forward to aft, that is considered as length. The breadth will be this one. As you can see here, the breadth will be one less, but at a midship section in the middle part, the breadth will be the highest most of the times. So the greatest breadth will be considered as the breadth of the vessel, the maximum breadth. Okay, it might be less here, but the greatest we will consider as the breadth of the vessel. That's what it all means. So this is about I and J part. Let's jump on to the next part. Okay guys, so we have a K and L part over here. So let's jump on to the K part, that is about vessel in sight of one another. Simply as the word suggests, each vessel can observe visually one from the another. Okay, you can see the another vessel, you can see your vessel from that vessel, and that vessel can be observed from your vessel. So both can see each other. That is what it means. Okay, so by visually, not by the radar. That is very important. So vessel shall be deemed means considered, okay, to be in sight of one another only when one can be observed visually from another. Visually is the important part. They should be observed visually, not by the radar. Important thing. The other part, that is the L part, the term restricted visibility. Now they have talked about the in sight of one another. Now that is the another condition of visibility, that is the restricted visibility, means your visibility is been restricted, you cannot see the things clearly. Now what restricted visibility means in terms of ROR? What it means? Means any condition of visibility is restricted. Means a condition of visibility which is restricted. That is the thing. By what? By fog, mist, falling snow, heavy rainstorm, sandstorm, or any other similar causes. It means your visibility has been restricted by these causes, which can be fog, mist, falling snow, heavy rainstorm, sandstorm, or any other similar causes, or something else also which can be similar to these things. Okay, because of these reasons your vessel has been got into the restricted visibility. That is what we call the restricted visibility. So there are two conditions you can see here: in sight of one another and restricted visibility. You should be very clear about it, because we are going to follow the collision regulation rules by only the state of visibility. We have different collision regulation rules because of the change of state of visibility. Okay, so keep these things in mind. In sight of one another and restricted visibility, we are going to carry forward these things to the next rules, which are going to be steering and steering rules. That is a B part of the ROR. Okay guys, so I have written the M part here, which is all about WIG craft. They are given the definition of the WIG craft. Here you can see wings in ground. Okay, so it's about the means a multimodal craft which in its main operation mode flies in close proximity to the surface by utilizing surface effect action. So basically it's a craft, it's just like it looks like little bit kind of an airplane, but they flies very close to the surface. Normally airplanes goes on the higher altitudes, but these kind of things, which is called as WIG craft, they use the surface effect and they are very close to the surface of the water. Okay, that's what we call as WIG craft, which I have not seen myself, but yeah, in some places it has been used. Okay, you can also find the picture of it in your ROR books, that is Bhandarkar publication. Okay, that is what all about the WIG crafts, nothing complicated. So that's all for the rule number 3, guys. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you feel this video was helpful, please press the like button and subscribe my channel and press the notification bell so that you don't miss out of the videos which are going to coming up next. So this is Abhilash Thakur, Sailor's Guide, signing off.